What does it take to win a war when your nation is tearing itself apart? Welcome to TimeFrame Unveiled, where we uncover the stories that shaped history. I'm Leo, and today we're diving into the brilliant and sometimes desperate strategies that decided the US Civil War. From cunning generals to crumbling economies, did you know one bold plan changed everything? Stick around to find out how strategy won the day, and hit that subscribe button to join our history journey. Let's set the stage in 1861. The Civil War has just begun, and the Union, led by President Abraham Lincoln, faces a daunting task: defeat the rebellious Confederacy and bring the nation back together. But how do you fight a war against your own people? Enter General Winfield Scott and his audacious Anaconda plan. The idea was simple but brutal: squeeze the Confederacy like a snake. Step 1, blockade southern ports to cut off their trade with Europe. Step 2, control the Mississippi River to split the Confederacy in half. Step 3, capture the Confederate capital, Richmond, Virginia. It was a slow, strangling strategy, and many in the North mocked it as too cautious. But Lincoln saw its genius. By choking the South's resources, the Union could win without destroying the nation entirely. This plan wasn't just about battles, it was about patience. Union naval power grew, with ironclad ships like the USS Monitor enforcing blockades. By 1862, key ports like New Orleans were under Union control. The Anaconda was tightening, but the South wasn't going down without a fight. Let's see how they countered. Now let's shift to the Confederacy. Outnumbered and outgunned, the South knew they couldn't win a long war. Their strategy? Fight defensively, wear down the Union's will, and hope for foreign help. Leading this charge was General Robert E. Lee, arguably the war's most brilliant commander. Lee's plan was to keep the Union on the ropes with daring, aggressive battles. He didn't have the men or supplies for a drawn-out fight, so he took risks. In 1862, at the Battle of Antietam, Lee invaded the North, hoping to sway public opinion and gain European support. It was a bloody stalemate, but Lee's boldness kept the Confederacy alive. Then, in 1863, he tried again at Gettysburg, a gamble that could have broken the Union. Spoiler, it didn't go as planned. Gettysburg became a turning point, with Union forces under General George Meade holding the line. Lee wasn't alone. General Thomas "Stonewall" Jackson earned his nickname for standing firm at Bull Run, inspiring Confederate troops. But the South's strategy had a fatal flaw. They were running out of everything: men, food, hope. Could their diplomacy save them? While Lee fought on the battlefield, the Confederacy pinned its hopes on diplomacy. They wanted Britain and France, two nations hungry for Southern cotton, to recognize them as a nation and join the war. Confederate diplomats like James Mason worked tirelessly, promising cotton in exchange for support. They even built ships like the CSS Alabama to disrupt Union trade, hoping to force Europe's hand. But here's the problem: Europe wasn't buying it. Britain had abolished slavery decades earlier, and public opinion there recoiled at supporting a slaveholding nation. Plus, the Union's blockades, part of that Anaconda plan, meant cotton shipments dried up. By 1863, Confederate diplomacy was faltering, and their economy was in shambles. The Confederate economy was a disaster waiting to happen. With no major industries, they relied on cotton exports, but blockades crushed that dream. Inflation skyrocketed. By 1864, a loaf of bread cost hundreds of Confederate dollars. Soldiers went hungry, and civilians suffered. The South's strategy of outlasting the North was crumbling, while Union General Ulysses S. Grant pressed harder, capturing key cities like Vicksburg. The end was near. But what sealed the deal? By 1865, the Union's strategy proved unstoppable. Grant's relentless campaigns wore down Lee's army, and the Anaconda plan starved the South into submission. On April 9th, at Appomattox Courthouse, Lee surrendered to Grant, ending the Civil War. The Union's patience, resources, and sheer will won out. But the legacy of these strategies lives on. The Civil War showed the power of economic warfare. Blockades and resource control are still used today. And figures like Lee and Grant, they're studied in military schools worldwide. Their decisions remind us that strategy isn't just about fighting, it's about enduring. What do you think was the war's most brilliant move? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for exploring the strategies that won the Civil War with me. If this video sparked your curiosity, give it a thumbs up. It means the world to us. Next week, we're diving into the untold stories of Civil War heroes. Don't miss it. Subscribe and hit the bell to stay in the loop. This is Leo from TimeFrame Unveiled, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep digging into history.